Yep, actually, video's fine. That's good. Alrighty. Well, I'll leave you to it. It's fine, don't worry about it. Yep, just remember to unmute yourself and, yeah, have fun. Be in the interviews.
Watching the live stream and I can't hear your voice. Okay. I'm leaving this chat now so you can continue.
Hello everybody and welcome to the Formula Student Grand Prix at Imola, or as F1 has it called, it's the AWS Formula 1 Gran Premio de Made in Italy Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix, if I remember it all correctly. Long name, but it's just the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix here. We have a practice session underway. A lot of drivers trying to see what's possible on this track, getting the rubber onto the track, delivering it. And this is a quite interesting track in my opinion. Pretty short lap, 52 seconds, not the shortest on the calendar, but I think we're going to see that get pushed a lot lower than 52 seconds. Maybe not all too much, but the track still has time to rubber in, so it's a track where pushing is very vital. These curbs there's a lot of time to be found in the curbs, but there's a lot of danger in taking the curbs in general with these cars. Maybe a little bit of action, a little bit of contact between going on and kind of beyond, though already seeing some racing in the practice session. Those turns, pretty clean, no contact. We will watch through this lap in its entirety. A lot of cars in front of him though. Yeah, just very easy to be caught out here. The curbs they really reduce the amount of contact you have with your tires and the suspension. It's set very soft to be able to handle the load, but even still, it can make the car very, very shaky coming through those. Pretty good last corner for Imola. See if he's able to improve on this corner. Doesn't look like he's able to. And we'll go to Rosie, another competitor. I think currently second place in the overall standings. I'd have to verify that. I know beyond the shadow of a doubt that Dormon is in first, with the most race wins in probably all of SGP history. I don't think I even need to verify that. Very dominant competitor. But I feel like we're getting closer and closer to some real tight competition at the top end, as people get more and more familiar with this car. Lozi is coming across the line. Really nice improvement to his time, 1.7 seconds shaved off. So it's actually really surprising to me, or it has been, just how fast you can really push it through the chicanes on this track. These cars are super high downforce, being fan cars with insanely large rear wing, and now that we don't have the low downforce configuration, it's just very high on the cornering speed. So yeah, it can really just take it really quick. We look at Paparazzi now. And Lozi now setting the fastest lap of 52.1. Few names that I am not familiar with yet. This would have to be one of them. And then, of course, plenty of competitors that are not new. Let's talk about an up-and-coming talent. This is coming down the main straight into the first turns. Beasley, Willem Beasley has been a very strong competitor in these early few races, having a little bit of mishaps on his luck with the first few. But I think he's definitely coming to be a very strong competitor. He's coming to put in a good lap time. We'll see how much he's practiced this track in particular and how much he's able to bring. As Dormalen actually brings a 51.5, a very strong lap. As you can see, the rubber's coming in, people are starting to push more. Better and better out of the competitors. Really quick into this turn one. This will be his first set lap. And that's going to bump him all the way up to fourth. Still about a second off of Dormalen's time at the moment. And he's going to go back to the pits. We're on board here with Emilio Franco. Seeing what he can do around these tracks. He's right behind Bianco, a little bit of an awkward position. Being set of flying. Not sure how effective the dirty air simulation is in the set of forces, but try to balance our audio a little bit better. Been told it's somewhat difficult to hear me, and that might be better. A little bit of oversteer from the Franco as he heads into the final few turns. Yeah, the exit speed there, it can cause a very big difference in your lap time just because it's going to be extended over this full straight. So it doesn't look like he's going to earn him an improvement there. Unfortunate this happened. We'll go back to Lozi. another very quick lap. I suspect we're going to start to see that and get closer to the 50-second barrier as we enter qualifying just shortly. Oh, and a little bit of contact. That was unfortunate. Really pushing the Delta. And wow, that is another very quick improvement. Looks like Beasley's coming out for another lap. He's going to set up for another attempt. Right behind Zapata. Doesn't quite work out. Goes back out to notify his damage. Let's see what he's able to do here as he comes through. I believe this is the FSGP equivalent of Aqua Minerale. Not quite, not quite. Did not get a chance to familiarize myself as well as I needed to with this track, but there we go. This one's Aqua Minerale. Real quick through there, just avoiding that sausage curve on the exit, extracting a lot of time out of Variante Alta, maybe too much time coming on the grass and validating that lap. That was quite unfortunate for him. If you wanted to look for an improvement in this practice session, of course, it won't really matter until we get to the qualifying session. We'll determine our grid order for the upcoming race. Right behind Zapata again, hopefully less collision through Tamburello this time around, and he gets through it nice and clean. Little bit of that initial curve, it's a lot less punishing than the second one. You won't need to get on the throttle really, really hard up for the second yellow curve, so you definitely want to prioritize your speed in a little bit more. Just kind of eke your way right around that second one, get the speed out. You see very quick through all the chicanes. Fortunately caught out in a very similar way to last time. And into Rivazza, it's just not quite enough since due to the invalidation primarily. He's going to reset to the pits, see if anyone's still out there trying to set something. Sabo is a competitor I have been in the ranks of, been in the kind of similar 7th to 10th midfielder area with. Maybe hoping to improve. I think we're all hoping to improve to that top 5 classification. But we'll see if any of our current 7th to 10 can do that today. Sundar Kut ends up setting a 51-1 very quick lap, actually beating Lozi out by 0.13. Pretty significant margin there. I've always thought it's a bit of a weird wristband on that camera. Maybe that's how it is in real life. I'm not 100% sure. Quick through there. Ooh, a little bit of oversteer. Yeah, as coming out of the throttle, very easy to do that. As we see another competitor go off similar way, not able to recover in the background. Nice and quick. Really showing off the downforce capabilities on these cars through a very, very high downforce circuit. Quick through Rivazza, it's been able to finish the lap, but it won't be. I'm not certain that it will be an improvement. But it will be our last one for this session as we go into qualifying shortly. Yeah, if we look at Lozi, he actually had the fastest sector 3 here. It's a 19.2. The other two, the sector 1 and sector 2 times, I would have to find. If I had to guess, it would. Looks like Sundar had the fastest sector 2, and then Bruce with the fastest sector 1. So a lot of different strengths being played to with your top 3 drivers. We'll see if was able to string it together. So yeah, it's really nice back and forth between the top three. A lot tighter than I've seen some of these races end up, where you have like first place just beating everyone by very, very thick margin. So I think this qualifying session is going to be really nice. A little bit more rubbering of the track to go. I take that back. Looks like we're at 100% track grip. So as soon as they come out, they're going to be able to set as fast of a time as possible. So, a lot of cars going out really quickly. I'm not sure if it's actually really quick run. You can see how much rotation is saved. Oh, sorry. Extracting out of that corner. As he goes out of the Robota to the first straight. He's gonna go quick into Tamburello, right on the edge of the track. Real quick through there, quick out of there. Hit the sausage curve right there. Of course, the times we see right now are from practice still. It does still say practice on our thing up here, but this is qualifying now. They're going to have 10 minutes to set their first lap for their grid position. As we're losing into Aqua Mineral and into Variante Alta. Oh, very, very hard on the yellow curve there. Might have lost a lot of traction on that exit. We'll see if that's going to hold him back from setting the time he needs. As he crosses the line, it's going to be a 50.8. Very quick lap, very rapid. Dormalin finishing his lap actually right behind there. Thin margins in practice so far. Gonna put her up as he comes flyer real quick. What's important to recognize, everyone here is fighting for their own positions. Even if you're not at the top, points are extending all the way down to 10th place, so you want to push as much as you can. Don't compare yourself to the top, just compare yourself to the person right in front of you. Hadarazzi almost getting cut out. I think that's Zapata in the green and blue car. He's going to back out of that lap right at the end as Kane comes through, either starting or finishing the flyer. We will stay on board here. Well, not on board, watching. Pane Bianco improves. Still only 3 people at the top at the sub. Well, Dormalin hasn't quite crossed the sub 51 margin just yet, but 3 people separated by only 3/10. Very, very tight in qualifying. As we have 6 minutes 20 to go. Franco improving up to 4th. Kane takes out of the Ratsa to cross the line, looking for a good improvement. Does not get it, unfortunately. Go on board with Franco, who seems to have had an incident somewhere. We'll go back to Dormalin as he tries to improve. Wow, only 4. And just 400ths, 4.5 hundredths between the top 3. Very, very thin margins. As Beasley improves to 7/10 behind Losey, Dormalin's going to try to lower that 400ths margin to something in his favor. As Sander Kutz sets a very, very quick lap, actually improving over 3/10, same track conditions, so that is just raw improvement, folks. Very, very quick. A lot of traffic in Dormalen's way. I don't know how easy it will be for him to improve here. Oh, and Zapata gets just in his way. I don't know if there was contact there. Almost sounded like it. He is going to back out of it. Probably going to set up to set a lap right behind them. Maybe try to take advantage of the slipstream and entering his own lap. And he's going to have one more attempt here. That's not true. 50-second lap, 4 minutes. No, he's plenty more attempts. Unfortunately, another contact with Zapata. That could be a lot of review there. That's a double contact. That is competitor that we've also seen get in the way of some of Beasley's flying laps. It's difficult to get around with all the crested corners here, but you still need to make an effort to get out of the way of your competitors. Traffic really heavy on track. Everyone's trying to set something here. Easily crossing the line, looking to set his improvement now. Really harsh over that second yellow curving. It's still able to retain some traction. Rotating the car quite quick through that section. Faster off by Minerale. He has 2 sectors left, or well, 2 main sector corners left to prove himself, and he's going out on that little bit of grass. Very unfortunate. He needs to set a valid lap if he wants to improve. Obviously he has one and he's in 4th, but if he's able to earn that improvement to that top 3 spot, it has to come from something clean. So we'll keep an eye on that. But we are going to move back to this shootout for top 3. Lozzi trying to set an improvement here, right behind Sabo. A lot of yellow curving there. Is able to maybe keep that valid. A little bit of a hard read for me. Definitely scraped some tires in the grass, but looks like most of the car was in the track. Not quite able to scrape together that improvement. I have to wonder, was Shando's lap like set with slipstream into turn 1? Because there's a significant margin better than everyone else. Lozzi cutting the grass, maybe to get ahead of this traffic behind him for his last lap. A lot of chaos. When you have 19 drivers on this very tight track, very difficult to find your space for one of these laps. He's gonna look for improvement. Maybe trying to build up that gap. There goes Van Dormaelen. Looks like Lozzi's going to try to set his lap right behind Dormaelen, as we are 1 minute 20 left. Leaves about 2 opportunities for both of them. Dormaelen improving to right ahead of Lozzi. Lozzi's going to want to take that back and hopefully find his way all the way up to first. As Dormaelen goes off in front of him, doesn't affect Lozzi's lap, but it does mean that Dormaelen isn't going to really have another opportunity unless he goes right out right now. Have to cross that line before the timer is over, otherwise the lap cannot be set. As Lozzi goes real harsh on the curbs to operate Minerale. Using everything to Variante Alta. Is this going to be enough for him to go right ahead of Dormaelen? Maybe even in front of Sandro Kut. Quick to Rabata, right to the end. And it doesn't look like it's enough, but he does have one more opportunity. Lowest fuel load he has possible right now. More and more coming out of that car as we go. But of course, you're wearing tires through this. The fresher the tires, typically the quicker the lap. So you're going to see how much it's able to affect him. You can see the cornering is super nimble under low fuel loads. Very, very light cars to begin with. Is he able to make a difference on his time? Does not look like it. Looks like anyone else is still on the lap. It looks like Beasley still might have an opportunity to improve here. Very conservative on his route through that turn. Ooh, very good save of Beasley there. Just kind of sliding it through the whole corner. And into the pits. He's not going to have an improvement there. And that makes your final qualifying times set in stone. Sunderkut with a 50.586. Very quick lap. Let's look at the actual time of that. Doesn't look like he had any lap that was like any sector that was the fastest. It wasn't even his fastest sector one. It was a 13.236 from him. Of course, with ERS trade-off, everyone can have a very different sector 1, sector 2, sector 3 lap time, and still be setting the fastest sector, but of course, you could not have any ERS for the deployment on the rest of the lap. I feel like sector 1 is the primary place of deployment, though you're already in the high RPM range by the time you're at the starting line, so maybe not. Let's look at who has those sectors. Dormalen, 2 of the fastest sectors, not able to string them together, unfortunately. His best lap was quite quick through sector 1, sector 2. As we have our starting grid of the race. As I set up the jump start, I am surprisingly, as a commentator, not in last place, but I did not intend to race as a BMW here, considering it's the Formula Student Grand Prix. We will start spectating our P1. I am trying desperately to actually get back to the pits. I'm 100% certain what is going on though. Or is my wheelbase actually connected? That is not what I intend to do whatsoever. So I'm alright. One thing fixed. And as we look to the start, with a very big lead to begin with. As we see the competitors going through, there's our Delta thing. We can see who we're spectating on the right now. Mane Bianco actually made up a position on Beasley as Dormal and Lozi go wheel to wheel through Ragazza. Wow, very tight at the top 5. Actually a pretty large gap, not represented here, between Beasley and Paparozzi. Kane seems to be, as the timing tower is updating, looks like Kane's settling to 7th. 4 places made by, I'm just going to say 888. So that's a great improvement. Sabo also making 1. Looks like Emilio Franco had a very unfortunate start, 9 positions lost. We'll have to see what exactly happened there afterwards. And let's watch this fight for the top few. As Honda recruit sets a 51.1 as the fastest lap. Both of them coming through here into Variante or Alpha Minerale. Both of them coming through. Maybe playing the ERS game here. Very difficult to evaluate when the right time to use that is. Beasley and Tyler Bianco are real close together now. And Sunlord just seems to be extending his lead more and more. As we look further down, looks to be like there's an incident somewhere in this. Now we have our time difference set up. Yeah, very big difference between top 5 and below, as you can see. Losey gets a lot closer to Dormalen. 6/10 away on the straight. Might be pulling some slipstream. Getting closer and closer. Now it's only 4/10. Maybe utilizing some of that deployment to make that gap bridged overtaking a little bit easier. One of his best opportunities is going to be into turn 1 as he comes out of the Foxa. Sets up right after this, of course, for the straight. As we actually already have a back marker in the mix. Hopefully nothing goes south there. Letting both of them by nice and clean. Losey setting the fastest lap, definitely supporting that idea that he's using some ERS here. But getting around that back marker, not necessarily having the best of opportunities. Oh, big slide, able to catch it really nicely. It's going to heat his rears, but he's handling it well. About a 1 second between all these people at the top. Let's look at this 6th, some of the 8th bike, because these three are looking real close together right now.